Probably my favorite purchase in the last couple of years is this pedal assist electric mountain bike. This thing is a total game changer. It's a ton of fun and it really does help keep you in shape. It's pedal assist, so there is no throttle and you're only getting assistance when you're pedaling. There are different levels of assistance. In this case, it's Eco being the lowest, Tour being sort of the second level, then EMTB, and then Turbo for the most assistance. I want a designated area for the bike in the shop, a place where I can store it and also charge it and have some other sort of bike associated things, clothing, shoes, my helmet, and maybe some tools. I'll build the corner out with T111 siding, first ripping the tongue and groove off each edge, and then I'll use the circular saw to cut it to length. I'll attach the T111 siding by screwing through the sheetrock and into the studs with 2.5-inch screws. Now that I have the T111 attached to the corner, I'll trim out the sides to make it look a little bit nicer. I thought about using this piece of sapele, but I'm going to save that for another project, and this piece of cedar should be just enough to get the job done. I'll need to clean up the transition in the center where the two pieces of T111 siding meet. And to do that, I'm going to make a piece of molding with a 45-degree angle cut on each side. Now that I have the corner built, I'll move on to some organizational work. First, I'm going to make shelves for my shoes, and you might be laughing, a shelf for each shoe. But I think this makes sense. That way I can park the bike, and the shelves will be the furthest part away from the wall, if that makes any sense. I'm going to use reclaimed white oak for the shelves, simply because I have some left over from the writing desk that I made a few weeks ago. After cutting the shelves to length and cutting a 45 at each end, I used a roundover bit in the router to soften the bottom edge. If you're wondering what's going on with the Makita tools and what happened to the Milwaukee tools that I usually use, well, I didn't get new tools. It just happens that Walter left his tools in the shop and they had a full charge and there was a roundover bit in the router, so I just used those out of convenience. And as far as what do I like better, I would say I like the Makita circular saw better, and I like the Milwaukee router better. The reason why I like the Milwaukee router better is it has a larger base plate. It's a little bit more comfortable to use. I think the Makita saw is a little bit smoother than the Milwaukee saw. I'll attach the shelves directly to the T111 siding with pocket hole screws. So I'm going to drill 3 evenly spaced holes in the bottom of each shelf. When I hang the shelves, I'll drive and tighten the center screw first and then the 2 sides once the shelf is level. I made another shelf off camera, and I'll use this one for some of my bicycle cleaning products. I made a simple wooden hook to hold my helmet, and this shelf will hold the charger, and I can plug that into the power strip that's mounted on the wall. Now I can install the bicycle hanger, and there's a separate video on this part of the project, and I'll have a link to that down in the description below. I'll push the bike into position and then use the 1/2-inch dowel as a locking pin just in case the tire goes flat, and plug in the bike. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the way this is working. Doesn't take up that much space in the shop. I did get a few comments on Instagram when I showed this bicycle hanger, and if you want to see how I built this, there's a separate video, and I'll have a link to it in the description below. Some people think that this isn't great for the hydraulic brakes. So if I decide that I don't want to use that, I'll take the bike out and store it like this, with the front wheel turned and the back wheel kicked into the wall. And I'll just have some kind of a hook that I can attach to the wall just to keep a little pressure like this. And again, it doesn't take up that much space in the shop. This is another addition to the shop, and this is a bicycle work stand. So that little latch locks into a hole that I drilled. I've got some feet on the bottom of this so it can swing out without messing up the top here. And this is a work area, so I'm not that concerned about it. But this is now a good strong cantilever because all the weight out here is up against this block, and it'll have no problem holding the bicycle, which is pretty heavy at 56 pounds. There's a sliding dovetail here. Got this little micro jig clamp, and bring the bike over. This works pretty good, and if you wanted a little more protection for the frame, you could put a rag down first before tightening up the clamp, so just something as simple as this. And that would work. I mean, it doesn't have to be super secure. You just want to have it so the bike's not moving around when you're working on the drivetrain. So then when I'm not working on the bike, I can take the bike off the stand and put it back in the bike hanger and push this out of the way. So this will just stay here. I could take it off the wall, but it's really not in the way. I'll go ahead and put this back. And there it is. So pretty happy with that. Doing a lot of bike riding. If you want to see how this bike works, stick around. I'm going to go on a ride and I'll shoot some video. Maybe talk a little bit about the motor and how the pedal assist actually helps you get up hills. Okay, well, I'm out on a ride. It's cold. It's like 28 degrees. We're going to head into the woods pretty soon. Love that building behind me. Let that make a nice shot. All of the footage when I'm riding will be in the vertical format because I've got this little pocket that I've attached to my shirt that the phone fits in. So that's the reason for that. So let's go ahead, we'll take a ride and then maybe take a closer look at this bike, which is a Bulls. It's made by Bulls, and it's the Copperhead Evo 3. And yeah, that's what it is. I was actually looking at a Trek, but with the supply chain issues, this bike came available, and the Trek fuel that I was looking at was going to be like sometime in 2024 or something. So let's hit the trails. We're in a little flat section here. Then we'll come into a pretty fast downhill. Fast for most people. I don't go that fast. Whoa! I was a little close. Just gonna get loose on this corner. So this is where the pedal assist really kind of kicks in. I'll be on a flat, and this is only going to assist me up to 19 miles an hour. Right now I'm doing 17. That's pretty fast in the woods. I don't know if you can hear the motor, but it's not very loud. Here's the start of a pretty long uphill. It's hard to tell here, but it's going to go up here and then wind all the way up there. That might give you a sense of the elevation. So I'll put the camera back here. Let me put it on, go wide angle. I'm on the EMTB setting. I'll bring it back down to tour. So now it's on tour, and I'm in third gear. And I'm just working up this hill at 8 miles an hour. The hill really hasn't kicked in yet. It's gonna start like right now. Now I'll go down to second gear. A little steeper right here. Getting a good workout. Okay, I'm up to a little bit quieter of a spot. It's really windy today, so I'm trying to hide from the wind. So here's a closer look at the bike. It has the Bosch Performance Line CX, and I really like the Bosch motor. I actually bought a different Bulls bike in the spring, and it had the Broza motor on it, and the motor went bad twice, so I ended up trading in. I had to pay a little extra money and upgrade it to the Copperhead AM3. And it's got the Fox rear shock, Fox 36 in the front, Monkey Link for your lights in the front and the back. Right now I only have a reflector in the back. And this is what's called a Class 1 bike, which means it's pedal assist, no throttle, and it's only going to assist you up to 19 miles an hour. That's here in the US. I think in Europe, Class 1 pedal assist is up to about 15 miles an hour. So just a lot of fun. Gets me out riding all the time. I've been riding mountain bikes since the 80s, and I just don't ride the way I used to. So the help that you get from the motor, just the fun factor just keeps you out on the trails. Definitely highly recommend this if you're thinking about it. See how fast we can go down this hill here. 25, 30. That's about it. Okay, we'll dip back into the woods. The ground's frozen, which is great because it's just no mud, pretty good traction. Nice little berm here. Find yourself making motorcycle sounds. At 55, that's kind of a cool thing to do. Motor right up that. It's going to be a good technical section right up here.
A little tight. Got this bridge coming up, and you don't want to hit this bridge when it's wet. That's for sure. Woo! Damn. Across this road, and then we've got another technical uphill. That's the fun part with this bike, the technical uphills. All right, gonna pop out of the woods, go take a look at the river. Low tide, heavy west wind. Woo! Whoa. Damn, look how low that tide is. Pretty. So that downhill is pretty steep. And now I can just go up and do a little workout, but nothing like on a regular bike. Just kind of cruise my way up. If I want, I'll throw it in turbo for a little extra help. Maybe put a wheelie. I'll go back into the woods. So this is all uphill. And it's fun. Real technical here. Just throw me over this route. Whoa. There's another look at Seabright. Tempted to go over the Sandy Hook Bridge and take a look at the ocean. There's probably no waves though because of this west wind. Might be nice to see though, we'll see. Ooh, a little muddy there. That's a hard turn right there. I'll slow down for that. Shift down. Woo! Yeah, it's pretty flat. So we're gonna head south, and then we're just gonna make a quick turn north, go back over the bridge and through the woods and back. This is Highlands. That's Bars Restaurant. It's a good place to get a beer and take a look at the bay. And now I'm gonna ride up here and get back into the woods. All right, that's where we were. That's the Sandy Hook Bridge. Now I'm up at Twin Lights, and that's it for now. A lot of fun. These bikes, I think these bikes keep you young. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.